What's up, guys? Welcome back to Tar Heel 24/7. I'm Jacob Turner. He's Andrew Jones. We're here for another edition of our daily drop, here to talk a little bit of Carolina basketball as the roster has officially been released. Carolina put it out a little bit earlier this week. And along with that, AJ, we saw on the 13th, which was Wednesday, I believe, trying to get my dates together. We saw them, Carolina social media release some pictures of Luka Bogovic and Ivan Matlakovic finally arriving on campus. So that is a positive one for North Carolina. I know we did a podcast about a little over a week ago, kind of talking about that and kind of the stuff, a little bit peel behind the curtain a little bit of what was kind of going on with Luka in particular. So a lot of people very excited when those pictures came out. That's why I had to bring those up.
What's funny is Luka's here and both of them are in the picture.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, oh, yeah, some guy named Ivan. I don't know. But Luka Bogovic is here. And
yeah,
I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was like all the attention was kind of on him.
7-foot Ivan is invisible in the photo, you know?
Yeah, I know, right? Everybody was just hyper fixated on Luka. But
that's great. Love it.
Yeah. And then so the pictures came out on the 13th and the 14th. Carolina put out a release and said, with the roster and jersey numbers and all of that stuff. And so, yeah, roster's settled. I think that's good for North Carolina. You mentioned this off camera, which was a great point about how, Ty Claude didn't even commit till around this time last year. So obviously the roster wasn't finalized. Yeah, again, the roster wasn't even finalized. Then Carolina releases its official roster on August 14th of this year. And you want to get your business done early. I know we've talked about that before. I think that's incredibly important. I think Hubert's alluded to that a little bit too, of like when you have all this newness on the roster in an ideal world, you want to get it finalized so you can get, not only so you can coach these guys and get them all in that setting, but just for the guys to mesh. I mean, it's incredibly important. That's why you see Carolina put out these things every summer where they go to a beach house together on the North Carolina coast. They show that kind of stuff because the team bonding aspect and getting to know your teammates, especially in this transfer portal NIL era, is more important than ever. When you, and especially with this roster, when you look at the fact that the only guy returning that's ever hit a three for North Carolina is Seth Trimble, which just shows you the sheer lack of production Carolina lost last year and the amount of newness that is coming with this team. So
they knew they didn't know the Ivan part of the roster 2 months ago. They knew that Luka was good. I was told by the program in June, it's just a matter of when the NCAA clears them. Then August 1st, we reported there are no hurdles. It's just a matter of when the NCAA clears him. So they knew that, but until certain formalities take place, you can't jump ahead of that. So they had to wait before they release the roster and all that kind of stuff. So now I think it's a great moment when they do, because you're that much closer to the next season. And there are certain fine lines, there are certain marking points as you build toward a season that I like to look at. And internally, it kind of gets me jazzed in that direction. Like with football, for example, the ACC kickoff is one, and then the first practice, and you get to watch, you get to smell the sweat and all that. Like, okay, it's really here. In basketball nowadays, it's the roster coming out. Next will be when the ACC releases the conference schedule here in a couple of weeks. That's the final phase, and then we're really in it because they start practicing in September. We'll have access. I think ACC tip-off is October 6th or something like that.
I'll be here before you know it, yeah.
Yeah. I'm already debating on how I'm going to handle the BYU game, because the BYU game is a Friday night in Salt Lake City, and the next day they're at home in football against Virginia. And I've been looking at the flights, and looks like the earliest I can get back Saturday is a 2:20 landing, and that's without delays, and we all know how that goes. So I'm already thinking, come on, UVA, come on, Carolina, be good enough to play at night. Let's do it. Let's do a 7 o'clock kickoff, and I'll be fine, because I don't want to have to choose one or the other. But the fact that I'm thinking that says we're getting a lot closer. I spent a half hour looking at flights yesterday. Like, how can I make this work? I checked airlines I'd never heard of before, ones that could go down anytime. But hey, if it gets me back to Chapel Hill sooner, if it lands, then I get to cover the game. I can ensure that I cover both. So maybe I'll just have to hop on. I'll do a stowaway on the team flight.
I'm sure they have no problem with that.
I'll be in some little chamber just typing like this.
We'll sneak you in, man. We'll sneak you in. Yeah, we'll put you in one of the big luggage bags or something like that.
They get cursed.
Hey, guys, you forgot this bag. Nobody knows what the bag is.
Do me a favor on that one. But the roster coming out, Jacob, I love it because we're just one step closer. People get excited. Mm-hmm. They were asking, dude, Carolina basketball, I call it the church. What people don't really understand, I call it the Church of Carolina basketball. The first question I got yesterday was about why Dante Mayo and Russell Hawkins were not on there as walk-ons. Like the first person, I had 3 DMs, 2 text messages. Again, I don't know how people get my phone number. I have somebody on Facebook. I had a dude on LinkedIn. The roster comes out like, I don't know what time it was. It wasn't 40 minutes later. Some dude on LinkedIn whom I've never talked to before in my life sent me a question. Hey, where are all the walk-ons? Where's Russell Hawkins and Dante Mayo? And I told Kirsch last night I said, man, this is football school, my butt. I mean, it'll be a football. It could be both, obviously. And football people are going to get mad. I'm making a point that people were wondering, almost like, my God, where are they? We need them. I thought it was great. And I love that passion. I love that passion about Carolina athletics in general, but Carolina basketball. It's awesome. There are very few things that are like that in college athletics. And Carolina basketball is one of them. We get to live it every day. And when the roster comes out, it's like a giant celebration. It's almost like you open up this massive package. You know what's inside. You know what you're getting. But then when you open it and you see it, it's like, yeah, man, this is mine now. I don't have to pretend like I don't know anymore. So it should be a holiday around here.
Oh, it's like breaking news when it obviously it is technically, but it's like it gets so much more attention when just like than most other schools and like roster numbers come out. It's just like, oh my God. Kion Evans, what number is he? Like he's gonna be number 0. You know what I mean?
I looked. Tell me if you did this. I want to know how many people watching this did this when they saw it. I did it, and I've been doing this for a long time, but I'm still equally excited about stuff like this now as I was 30 years ago. In that little in that graphic they put out, I looked at each guy's face with blue. And even with Seth went to the is it cornrow? What do you call it?
Yeah, I think that's technically cornrows. Yeah,
because he likes both, but he played really well late in the season last year with that. Maybe he's going that route now. Who knows? Mm-hmm. So I even noticed that, but I wanted to look at what each face looks like with that blue. Part of it's familiarizing, so I like to do that journalistically, but I'm just excited about it. I think it's great.
Oh, it's awesome, man! It just signifies that we're getting closer to the season. It feels like. Although Henry Vasar's on the roster, although Jonathan Powell's on the roster, Kion Evans, et cetera, it's like when this comes out and the roster numbers come out and the graphic comes out with him in a Carolina uniform, you're like, oh, it's like officially official now. Like we all know they've been on campus forever and committed to the school months ago. But it's like, oh yeah, man, like
and you read the name,
really nice,
and you read the name
exactly.
Like, I know that picture is Henry Vasar, but I had to read the name. Mm-hmm. I had to like all those images. I had to zero in on each one. Compartmentalize.
Let me ask you this. Are you one of those people?
I'm telling you, Jay, I love this stuff. It's one of the reasons why I still do it. When I announced I was stepping away from THI, I wasn't retiring. I just didn't want to do it in that manner anymore. And I'm very fortunate and blessed that a week later this came up. Okay. So the passion is there. And seeing that is a reminder that if there's a day in time down the road where the roster comes out, I'm like, and I don't look at it until later that night or the next day, that's why that'll be a problem. Maybe I need to walk away then, but I'm as excited about it now as ever, partly because of the newness, but also because it's just fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. No doubt. Are you one of those people like not Jonathan Powell, but Jaron Stevenson in the pictures wearing like a headband and you're like, man, Roy Williams would never let that slide because Roy was like, those are the little things that I pick up on where it's like, I find that so fascinating because I've been watching Carolina basketball for so long. And I remember, I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was either Ty Lawson or Deion Thompson back in the day that wore a headband for like one game.
No, Ty wore it a little bit more than that. Deion wore it a little bit.
And then it was gone. They didn't wear it anymore. And it was always my understanding that it was like a Roy Williams thing. Maybe that was not true back when maybe that was what I just heard back in the day, but that was my understanding of it when I was growing up as a young kid. Cause Ty Lawson year would only been like 13 at the time, something like that.
I covered Ty and I wrote a story. We're veering off already. I wrote a story.
All right. There ain't much less to talk about. The roster came out great. Let's get this thing rolling.
I wrote a story about Ty's love of SpongeBob.
Yes. SpongeBob socks and warm-ups.
He wore SpongeBob boxer shorts.
Socks too, right?
He had SpongeBob socks underneath his game socks. So I didn't know. I'd heard of it. I didn't know what it was. So, I got married a few years earlier. My wife, she had a couple boys when we got married. So I went to the boys and said, "You need to help me out. What the hell is SpongeBob?" So they put it on. And I'm like, God, Krabby Patties, huh? So I said something to Ty about Krabby Patties. He got a big old smile on his face. I'm like, good gracious. I'm talking to this damn good basketball player, this guy that's going a ton of money in the NBA, and this is a SpongeBob conversation. So I wrote the story. And it's the one story I think that Cameron, my wife's oldest son, probably ever read that I wrote. It's the only one he's probably ever read.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
SpongeBob.
Because it has SpongeBob in it. I'll tell you this.
SpongeBob SquarePants. And then my daughter, she's born in 2009, and I took her to a SpongeBob movie. Gosh, I don't know, like maybe 2016 or 17. And we're sitting in the movie theater, and she is glued into this thing like she's watching, like when older people saw the astronauts land on the moon or something like that, walk on the moon, she's glued into this thing. And I'm thinking, I wonder if Ty Lawson watched it that way while he was in college and an All-American and the ACC Player of the Year. And he's rocking the SpongeBob gear.
He probably did, to be honest with you. I mean, it is as big of a SpongeBob fan as he was. I'll tell you this, and again, we're veering off course here, but what else is there really to talk about? When I was playing rec basketball, I played rec basketball back in the day, and this would have been like 07, 08 kind of time. And I used to wear double Nike socks back in the day because Wayne Ellington used to do it. Wayne Ellington used to wear 2 pairs of Nike high socks because I always remembered, and I used to love stuff like this with soccer players and basketball players. I was all about look good, play good. I was that guy. And I would always wear the double socks in basketball because I would look at Wayne Ellington photos all day or Carolina basketball photos all day or watch the games, obviously. And I noticed that Wayne, you could see 2 Nike check marks. And I was like, oh, he's wearing double socks. So I went and wore double socks like Wayne Ellington back in the day. So I had to bring that up. The Ty Lawson thing sparked that memory and again, this goes back to kind of the point of the podcast of like the church of Carolina basketball and what it is when a roster gets released that we've known for X amount of months. Yeah. The excitement that comes with that, I think a lot of Carolina fans can relate to that. Because I guarantee there's some people watching, whether they're young right now or old right now, my age, whatever it may be, that have done stuff when they grew up playing sports because they saw a Carolina player do it or saw their favorite player do it over here. I know I'm sure you did it with Eddie Murray.
Mike O'Corin. Yeah, I did it with Mike O'Corin.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, it was. I made a shirt. I took a T-shirt, cut it up, much to my mom's dismay. And although it was just an undershirt, I wasn't really an undershirt guy, but I cut it up and I made a uniform with, and on the back put O'Corin's name. And then I put in little parentheses, Dr. OK, because there for a while, people, Dr. OK, Dr. J era, Dr. OK O'Corin. And so that's what I did. The double socks, when I played basketball in high school at Fort Hunt and Bishop Ireton, we wore 2 socks, but it was a thin pair of socks, almost like the socks you would wear under your baseball socks, your stirrups. It was a very thin, we call them basketball socks, and then regular socks over top that.
Mm-hmm. I want to know, I would love to ask Wayne if he was just wearing double Nike socks, because it always looked like, because I would wear them, and I'm like, I need like a bigger shoe size now because my foot is like squeezed into this because I'm wearing these 2 thick Nike high socks. I've always thought Wayne Ellington did the same, but that's exactly why I did it back in the day. I just thought it was cool Wayne Ellington did it.
Before I forget, got a text from the program yesterday because we're recording the day after roster came out. Just so fans know, because sometimes there's debate and confusion, the heights listed on the roster are the heights in their shoes.
That makes more sense.
Okay, and then some of them have different stuff put in the sole of the shoe because of their feet. Because everything is tailored to their feet, right? So if you see whoever walking around, you're like, man, he doesn't look 6'8". Well, he's 6'8" in the shoes. They're not doing it to fool anybody, but as it's been explained to me many times, that's their height on the court.
Yeah.
So just to clarify that, I'm glad I remembered that because it was sent to a couple of us just to make sure we know that our readers understand. And I did post that in the thread on our board with the release of the roster.
I wonder if back in the day when they took the heights for the 08, 09 team, I wonder if Wayne Ellington wore the double socks and gave him that extra couple of millimeters in there. I wonder if he did that when they measured him back in the day. Maybe I'll never know. I'll have to figure out a way to ask Wayne Ellington that as I go down memory lane right now. But
since we're doing SpongeBob and we're doing Ty and we're doing Wayne, I'm gonna isolate Wayne. When you think of Wayne Ellington, what's the first basketball anything that comes to your mind when you
like in terms of like,
and I'm going to ask everybody listening this question. What's the first thing that comes to your mind that what Wayne Ellington did at North Carolina, what pops in your mind first?
Shot at Clemson, game winner at Clemson.
Oh, that's it.
Always the first thing for me. I remember watching that live with my dad back in the day. I have that memory vividly. But that is, anytime we talk about Wayne Ellington, we brought him up in the Jonathan Powell podcast that we're going to run later on this week or next week. The first thing that popped in my mind was the Clemson game. Like, it's just, that's the memory that I have of Wayne Ellington for sure.
I didn't cover that game. I watched that game on TV.
I was going to ask if you were there.
No, I wasn't there. I was covering that was 08. It was 08. So it was my last year at the Star News, Wilmington Star News, and I was covering all the 4 schools in state. So for whatever reason, I wasn't down there for that. Yeah, always. That is always the memory that jumps out. Wayne Ellington is just always that. Just so calm. I mean, he shot it like it's June 14th and no one else is in the gym. And the guy almost, it was almost got stolen. Routine. Pardon me? Like, if I remember correctly, like the ball almost should have gotten stolen before it got to him. Like the Clemson defender was like right there. Maybe I'm making up that memory, but from what I remember, I'm like, watching while you're talking. He's one of the smoothest players and nothing theatrical about his game, which is why he was often overlooked. I mean, he's on a roster with the energy of Danny Green, the energy of Marcus Ginyard, the craziness and energy and bull in the china shop of Tyler Hansbrough, the gushing energy of Todd Lawson. You've got on that 2018, you had Alex Stevenson, who started for 2 years at Southern Cal. Dion. You had so many guys, and then there's this calm, cool, like older man in a 20-year-old's body named Wayne Ellington. Mm-hmm. And when he started as a freshman, I remember some people in the media like, why is we starting him? He doesn't really do a whole lot. Then you just slowly watch over time. Well, he's not doing anything that grabs you, and that's the greatness in his game. Because it was so what he did well was so polished when he showed up, and everything else sort of came together over time. Yeah, if you go, I did confirm what I remember is that the Clemson guy is like, at least from the TV angle, it's like he's that close. It's almost more impressive that Wayne even caught that ball, because a lot of people the guy would have like probably blinked or anticipated that he was going to get a touch on it and not catch it. But to catch it like that and then throw it up like he did and obviously hit it in that environment too. Because let's not remember, I mean, Littlejohn, I know they've done some renovations, but I remember that being a very hostile place for Carolina. Well, that was also the year they played Clemson in the ACC championship game, 08. Mm-hmm. But that shot, though, was just like, no one's here. It's me doing my rhythm. Just catch and shoot like that guy didn't almost touch the ball. Yeah. Such a beautiful shooter to watch. Yeah. Such a beautiful shooter. Yeah, he really was. Nobody on this roster wearing with Wayne Ellington's number, though. It doesn't look like, AJ. I had to confirm that. Yeah, it's like, what is it, 0 through 9 or 0 through 8? It's 0 through 9. Yeah. No, excuse me, 0 through 8. Excuse me. Nobody wears 9. It goes 8, Caleb Wilson, then Jonathan Powell's at number 11, which is my number growing up. That was my number in sports. 11 was always mine. I don't really know why, but I always thought I stuck with it. So I had different numbers, but in basketball in high school, I wore 24. Okay. Why was that? It's the number I got. And I got it. I think I was able to choose I went to 2 different high schools. I wasn't doing great in school. So my parents said, hey, we got to send him to Catholic school to straighten his butt up. Didn't really work because I went back to public school and terrorized, but I was 24 in both. I don't remember exactly why. It was 24. I don't know. You were the Fort Hunt Kobe before Kobe Bryant was even around. Because when you said 24, I almost said, because of Kobe. And I'm like, wait, no disrespect, AJ, but Kobe, I guess, wasn't really doing his thing back when you were in a. Yeah, it's, I'm a little ahead of where Kobe. Not to call you old or anything, even though I guess I just kind of. I don't remember. I know that in baseball, when I was on All-Star, my regular team, I couldn't get number 6, but I was on All-Stars, I got number 6 because originally I was a Steve Garvey fan. By that point, Eddie Murray had taken over, and we never had 33 as an option. Otherwise, I would have worn 33. Oh, I know you would have wore 33. I think I just wore 11 because I got it one time and I thought it looked cool. In football, when I was at Bishop Barton, I had to wear 70 one year, which I hated because I always said 70 is a fat guy number, and I wasn't a fat guy. I played the line. I wasn't a fat guy. I was one of the smallest linemen we had. I just couldn't stand number 70. At least you were on the line. They didn't give you 70 and you were like a wide receiver or something. At least it fit the line at least. I just hated that number. Like I would never, when they were wear the jersey, not the school because we had dress code. And I think they let us wear it one time, and I forgot it. I didn't wear my seats.
Well, that was back in the day too.
But I wore
65,
79, and 70.
That was back in the day, I guess, when all the receivers were wearing 80s, and that was a recent thing. And now, like over the last few years, it's changed. All the receivers are wearing like low numbers now. It's like kind of the way it's going.
Yeah, and I was offensive lineman, defensive lineman, so I didn't have a problem with that. I like numbers in the 60s, but when I was 65, I was digging that because when I got to high school, I was not big enough to play tackle, but I played tackle some. I'd rather play guard because I played 3 sports, so I was a little more athletic than a lot of our linemen. So I could pull. I love pulling, and we ran the Delaware Wing T at Bishop Ireton.
My high school Wake Forest.
We were the last football team on earth running the Delaware Wing T because our coach was literally he lived in a cave. He lived in prehistoric times.
My high school ran it. My high school ran it back when my brother was in school. When I was in school, they ran the Wing T. They were good.
Yeah. Was it straight Delaware?
I don't know what kind of wing. I have no idea what kind of wing tee it was, but they ran the wing tee.
I didn't mind because I pulled a lot. I like pulling, kicking out some.
And it worked. I mean, my high school won state titles and never had a quarterback. They just always like ran the ball over everybody and had a good defense. And again, but just never really produced a quarterback because they just never had to throw. So if you could hand the ball off, you could be a starting quarterback and win a state title.
When I was at BI, we were running the Delaware Wing Tee. We didn't score much. We sucked. When I was at Fort Hunt, we ran straight, 80s power football. We ran counter traps and dive plays 85% of the time.
I love it.
Which I love because I love run blocking more than pass blocking. You just maul somebody. And then we just open up enough hole and some scat back and run through, go 80 yards for a touchdown.
God, that's a good
one. Willie McCollum every year. He's a big Carolina fan. The roster's out. I haven't checked my Facebook DM today. He's probably already DM'd me. I got to talk about the team, man. You're close to the team. You got to tell me about my boys. And he'll ask for tickets at some point, and I have to remind him every year, Willie, I don't get tickets. Willie was fast, man. We beat Hubert Davis's school in their homecoming because Willie ran a punt back for a touchdown and then ran about a 90-yarder on a damn counter trap.
There we go.
And that's how we beat Hubert's school in their homecoming game in front of 14,000 people.
You just never forget stuff like that. It's a lot of fun.
I don't know why it's weird. See, my mom always said, you're training for your career now. Yeah.
Well, you always have. I almost consider you to have a photographic memory. I know you don't quite have that, but you do remember a lot of stuff that my brain does not work.
I remember stuff like that, but I don't remember a damn thing about Spanish class.
No,
I took Spanish 1 twice. Because I don't remember anything. I had to take it a second time.
But you could probably tell me how many points, Raymond Felton scored in his sophomore year against Clemson at home and on this date. You could probably tell me that if you give me a couple seconds.
I'm on Facebook last night. I didn't check DM, but I'm on Facebook last night and I see Joe Davis pop up. He retired. And I've told you the story about the coach. Jones, put your hand in your pants. Tell me if you're still there. Yeah. Joe was the guy I was blocking. He played at Wake Forest. And he was just throwing me around like a rag doll in practice. And then I got an embarrassing moment, and there were girls watching, and Joe kind of laid down, let me block him on the next play. I see that he's retired. I'm like, he's retired. All these guys are retiring now, and I'm like going at my career like I'm 24. But my first thought was that moment and just how he used to just throw people around. And they started at Wake Forest one year.
Yeah. Again, not surprising if you ended up playing.
So I can remember like that. So I see that. And I remember specifics from back then about stuff like that, but I don't remember any of the important things.
That's why I can't.
Dude, the only thing I remember from Spanish class is Senor Hernandez used to give Julie Chamberlain and me a hall pass. There were those big wooden hall passes. And we get it 3 minutes into class, and we come back 3 minutes left in class.
Mm-hmm.
And then he tried to lecture me about what I missed. Whatever.
That's why I'm always at an uphill battle when I hop on these podcasts with you because you have a photographic memory and I'm over here like, what did I do yesterday? I'm trying to remember what I did yesterday. You're just rattling off stats and stuff, and I'm like, all right, man, let me pull up my notes real quick.
And I'm the guy with mega typos on Twitter. All right. So I screw that up. I'm the guy that literally does not remember when half the stuff's supposed to be done around here. That's why my wife calls herself my secretary.
Oh,
without her, I'd be lost.
I believe it.
I'd be homeless, living under a bridge, not knowing what to do. Right?
Yeah, Kim's a rock star.
she finally plugged all the bills into my account, so I don't have to actually go pay them. It just comes out automatically because if I have to pay them, I do right.
Yeah, I knew you wouldn't have that set up.
I'm the guy whose DirecTV gets cut off. I have plenty of money to pay it, but I forget to pay it.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. I'm not much better.
So everything balances out. I remember all these unimportant things from back then, but I don't know anything about now.
Yeah.
So
I know the people appreciate it. I do. One of my favorite things is when I go look at the comments and, we do like a 45-minute podcast and everybody's like, thanks for the podcast, AJ. And I'm like, I did something. Like, I handed the ball off. Like, give me a little bit of credit, right? Like, come on, guys. Like, I edited the podcast too. Like, come on.
I don't know how to respond when people do that.
Oh, it happens all the time. It's totally fine. Like, I understand. Like, you've been doing this forever. You're the guy who.
I don't know how to respond when people do that. Just because I don't want to. I don't know.
I think
I can't do these. I do solo drops, but full disclosure, I can't edit. If you guys saw these things, if it was just up to me, we'd have like 9 subscribers and it would all be family.
Yeah, it's a team effort for sure. It's definitely a team effort. Because if I was on a podcast talking by myself all the time, I'd have about 8 people watching. Favorite comment I got, I did a solo drop for the first time in a while about like 5 things we learned from the Come Up documentary Carolina put out. Only got about 4 comments, but one of the comments, and I laughed when I saw it, was one of the comments was, "Where's AJ?"
Really? I haven't even looked.
And I was like, I didn't respond to anything. I just thought it was funny. I hope the guy who did it's watching. I thought it was hilarious. I was
you guys need to understand.
I'm used to that.
Massive props has to go to Jacob because this part of our ship wouldn't run properly.
I try to facilitate the conversation, offer some viewpoints, but I'm kind of the behind the scenes editor. That's where a lot of my expertise kind of shines a little bit. I consider myself a decent thumbnail creator on YouTube, probably better than I am a host on a podcast. So I appreciate everybody watching. I just find it hilarious. I think it is funny when people are just great podcast, AJ. I'm like, come on, man. Can I get at least like just throw a little Jake in there too? Like I facilitated it. Like, come on, man. I introed it. Like I can't get.
I'm the bloviator. You're the refiner. I'm the bloviator.
Yeah, you're the one out here spewing stats that I cannot remember to save my life. And again, that's the real stuff right there that people come for. So I get it. Trust me, I understand it. I ain't blaming.
You know what's crazy is I could remember specific plays from those games. Like I could remember specifics. I could remember the plays we ran, and I watched Jim Palmer do a lot of the Orioles games, and he remembers every home run he gave up. He remembers the count.
I find that amazing, man.
And I'm like, I marvel at that. I love that kind of stuff.
But you're closer to him than I am closer to you, if that makes sense. My memory is not nearly as good when it comes to
I don't know. I think as you move on in time, I think the stuff that we appreciate stays with us more. But I appreciate it. And let's remember, I just finished writing a book about my high school and the community I grew up in. And I was forced to revisit that. So I've spent the last couple of years off and on when I'm not diving into my coverage of the Tar Heels. Otherwise, I'm going back in time. So I'm reliving the 70s and 80s, writing this book. I mean, honestly, I'm able to picture myself in some of these scenarios. Even if it wasn't about me, I'm able to picture that. So I think that's kind of brought a lot of that back out as well.
100%. No,
I didn't do my Ford. I do my Ford on that for another podcast, but I mean, I really went back in time, and it's cool because I felt like the only way I tell the story was to somewhat live it, even vicariously.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. No, again, that's one of your strongest skill sets. You've been in this business for a long time, and it shows because your knowledge on this stuff is amazing. And sometimes I'm like, man, I'm just over here trying to keep up with AJ on this stuff. But again, I think that's why we work so well on the podcast.
I'm just getting away with it. Maybe I'm.
I guess yeah. I just find it impressive because I have like notes and stuff, and I can remember certain things, and I do well. But you'll just spew off stats that you don't even have written down from last week, or this guy did that. This guy had 42 tackles last season against somebody, and it's like, how the fuck do you know that?
The Henry Vasar, I had notes on that. I got to
we do stuff like that. So. Yeah, it's impressive though, man. Again, it is impressive. All fun. Back again,
I don't know much else.
Yeah. But again, I know that people appreciate it, man, because they absolutely love what you do over here. And again, we just appreciate everybody watching and commenting. Just keep commenting. I don't care. As long as you keep commenting, you don't ever have to mention my name. Just keep saying, AJ, great podcast. So we love every podcast you put out for us. As long as you keep commenting, that's all we care about, man. I'm just here.
Jacob, one more full disclosure. We said we were going 12 minutes on this.
Oh, no. To be fair, we only went about 2 minutes.
I said, let's, because we're recording 3 today. And I said, you know what? Let's just not veer off. Let's just get in, get out.
Yeah. We
can't even find my way back. I don't even know what the podcast is about now.
Yeah, record time.
We did it. We finished it. Sometimes people complain. I'm like, guys, we finished it. Then we go off on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the thing. Like, especially in the off season and everything. Like, I enjoy consuming podcasts where people go off course. Of some of my favorite sports podcasts, my favorite part of the podcast is when they talk about absolutely nothing related to the topic after they've already talked about the topic. So I'm a fan of it. I know there's certain people who aren't, but I think we're just going to keep going off course, whether people like it or not. I guess I don't really.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes
some people like it. Some people
don't. It has to be organic. It has to be organic.
Yeah, we didn't plan this at all. Trust me, we did not plan to go.
The last thing I thought if you would have asked me, what are a million things that could happen today that you're not thinking about right now? I would say telling the Mike O'Corin made up T-shirt that I wore to 8th grade or 6th grade or whatever it was, 5th grade. I would have said that's not on my radar.
No, definitely not. Definitely.
And there's a chance that I may still have that in storage.
We'll see if you can find it. See if you can find that thing, man.
I have all my old equipment and cleats and stuff in storage.
Oh,
I have arm pads and storage.
Oh, I love that. You should come on a podcast wearing your old arm pads and your old helmet and the Mike O'Corin jersey. That's what you should do.
And then the people in white coats would come take me, strap me, and then remove me for good.
Kim would be calling them like, hey, you got to come get this guy, man. Like he's gone off the deep end. He was already teetering on the brink, but he's officially gone off the deep end.
He'd be the winner in that scenario.
Yeah. I'm about to say, I think we can all agree on that, right? Oh man. But I'll say, AJ, I'm gonna wrap this one up. I'm gonna summarize. Roster's out. The roster is complete. Luka's on campus along with Ivan. Still up in the air when Luka's going to be cleared because the NCAA operates at its own pace.
But the program
get cleared.
Knows he'll be cleared. He will be cleared. Just don't know when.
Yes.
He can do all team activities. He starts classes Monday. As again, we had that August 1st. So everything's good. Looking forward to seeing it. I'm really looking forward to seeing this team. The commonality, the common thread between football and basketball is who knows.
Yeah.
But I do like the depth of quality on the basketball roster. I think Hubert can go deeper and point to a guy and get something from him. The freak out nature unknown, the deer in the headlights. I don't think there's any of that on the bench this year.
And I think on paper, at least, the composition of the roster makes a lot more sense. They got taller. They should be a better 3-point shooting team. I think they're more athletic, and I think they should be a better defensive team too. So it on paper feels like a team that could have a good year coming up. Like you said, a lot of newness. So who knows?
Just so people know, someone said, what are you looking at? My phone's going crazy right now. So my phone is over here to the right. If you think I've got some tick or something like that, and I'm looking at my phone all the time.
Trying to make sure breaking news doesn't happen as soon as we start recording, because that has happened to us before.
It has happened,
actually. So
it has happened, and there's some things I have to tweet out that I haven't tweeted out. David's golf story.
Mm-hmm.
David loves golf. Carolina's got some great golfers. We were talking about it last night on the phone. He's got a story we're recording this Friday, so it's on the site right now. So I'm very excited about that, but I haven't tweeted it out yet. So I got to make sure I get that to socials.
Well, let's do that. Let's go ahead and get out of here so we can actually do that, because we just spent way too long waffling about absolutely nothing relevant to the roster. But again, appreciate y'all watching.
Is this the SpongeBob podcast? Did we talk about SpongeBob on this?
Yes. Yes. Same podcast. Same podcast as the Wayne Ellington. Yeah, talking about Wayne Ellington's shot at Clemson, the double socks. Yeah, that was this podcast. That was actually.
So this was basically like a 7-minute show, and then just us going.
I don't even know if we got to 7 minutes.
Wading through the woods and the rest of it.
To be fair, if we spent 30 minutes talking about the roster numbers, people might need to check us in somewhere, because I don't really know what we would have ended up talking about. Like, oh yeah, Henry Vasar is wearing I really like his number 13. That's a cool number. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think people wanted to hear that. So again, if you enjoyed it, if you enjoy us going off course a little bit, let us know in the comments. If you don't, let us know in the comments. We'll take it on.
The thing is, if you don't, once you sense that we're going there, you can stop watching.
Yeah, just leave. Just leave. We won't be mad at it.
Because the show's over. The podcast is over. The whole point of it's over at that point.
Yeah. Again, we like to just talk about nothing sometimes, or not nothing. You talk about nothing related to Carolina sometimes, and we're probably going to keep doing it. So if you don't like it, Sorry if you like it. Thanks for watching. We'll hope you keep tuning in on this. I've been Jacob Turner. He's been Andrew Jones. Appreciate y'all watching as always. Head on over to Tar Heel 24/7. Get signed up. It's a great time to do so ahead of the season. Recruiting, we got such a strong team, such a strong just overall group on the recruiting side, and with what we're doing in season coverage as well. We're not even really at full strength yet. We're still waiting on some people to get down here and for our staff to really get going, but it will be full strength by the time the season starts, football I should say. So yeah, we're looking forward to it, and can't wait to see what kind of awesome coverage we're going to bring to you guys when we actually get to watch some stuff and talk about some stuff on the gridiron and on the court. So appreciate everybody as always, and we'll see y'all next time. Thanks.